Hi there. I have a question for you. Do you want to lose weight? And the reason I'm asking is that I meet women all the time who struggle with weight issues. I think it's common that it coincides with hormone changes in the body, perimenopause and menopause, and it can be so frustrating. And I was thinking about something today that came into my mind, and I want to share it with you because if you're struggling with your weight, I want you to hear this piece of information from me. So the piece of information relates to how we're thinking about weight. Okay, I'm actually going to start with the analogy. So my daughter is a year and a half, and she just recently learned to walk. And I noticed that, often she wants to walk in a straight line, and she's very good at it. But she'll get distracted by something on the side, so her head starts to turn, but her body's pointing forward. And so obviously she veers off towards what she's looking at. So instead of walking down the sidewalk straight, she's basically looking at the store windows and the cars, and she starts walking off in all these different directions. And I thought about today, oh my God, that's so brilliant. It totally captures what we do with our thoughts when we're trying to accomplish something. So weight loss is a good example of this. So I'm going to use that. So if you want to lose weight, most of the time what people do is they focus on how they're unhappy with their current body weight. And they think about, I call it lack. They feel empty. They feel like, okay, I want to get here, but I'm here. And they focus on how gross it is to feel that weight, and they don't like it, and it's frustrating. And they focus on maybe some changes they have to make, but it's kind of like infused with some, but it's kind of hard, and I just need to be strict. And it's kind of infused with self-berating and judgment and lots of negativity. And the point that I want to make is if you want to go from A to B, you have to keep B in your mind. You have to connect more with your destination than where you're starting from. So if you're connecting more to the feelings of being overweight and the place you're in of being overweight and all the implications of it and the clothes not fitting and all that, you're going to stay there. If you are wanting to, let's say, shed 20, 50, 100 pounds or whatever you want to shed, focus on how that feels and what that reality is like. Put your thoughts there. Every time you feel yourself getting dragged down by, something relating to the current circumstances that makes you feel bad, that's okay. It's going to happen. Our minds are like that. That's normal. You're human. But then choose to change your thought and put it into the destination. Imagine how good it's going to feel to be thinner. Look at some pictures of people being thinner. I know when I was doing some workouts on by DVD, I'd look at the body of the person and I'd be like, wow, she looks amazing and really fit. Like, I want that. And I would do that continuously every day, not consciously. It would just happen. And I later realized, I think that helped me get to my goal. So you have to think about the positivity of what you're going to look like, what you're going to feel like, how healthy you're going to be eating, not in a intense, unnatural way, but just in a kind of like, yeah, that's kind of cool. Like, I'm going to be able to wear pants like this. Wow, imagine how that feels. Nice. And then don't take it back to point A, which is like, oh, too bad I can't do it now. Focus on the outcome. So surround yourself, even if it's like with images of, how you want to be like, how you want to feel. Put pictures of like vegetables and drinks on your fridge just to remind you of all that. Because you have to have the thought in your mind of what you want. We create what thoughts we have in our mind. So we always want the thoughts in our mind to be what we want to create. So make sure that you're making the images and the thoughts in your head what you want to create. This is so simple and so life-changing, and it does apply to every context, not just weight loss. So the reason why this is, just in case some of you want an explanation, this is where I start getting into like quantum medicine, and I think really everything is quantum energy, right? So if you're having a thought, it has a certain frequency, and you can only really attract that frequency. So if you're thinking, let's say, a frequency of X, you're going to attract X. If you think frequency of A, you're going to attract A. And so that's the law of attraction in very much simple terms. But really, it's just resonance. It's just energy. So you will want to have the right frequency in your mind, even if that's not in your reality yet. You will make it in your reality eventually. Now, the time that it takes to get from A to B, we can't control that. I mean, we can because we're going to take actions and we know we're on the path, but that time can be like this or like that. And that depends on how focused we are, how much our ego starts to come in and us indulging it, and how kind of off track we are. And I also believe there's a divine timing for all of us. There's factors we can't necessarily see, therefore harder to control. But just know that you're on that path. And that's like super exciting, knowing that if you continue what you're doing, you're going to go from point A to point B. So for the point of view of weight loss, keep those good thoughts in your mind. Don't let go. Persist. And if you fall off the wagon and you, I don't know, do something that's not part of what you're supposed to do, who cares? Think about what you want. That's it. You don't have to, it's not about judging yourself and being perfect. You know, we don't really know what brings weight loss at the end of the day. It's not necessarily just what you're eating. It's how you're acting, it's how you're feeling, because all of that affects your immune system, which affects whether you have inflammation in your body, whether you're able to detoxify, and that affects your weight. So weight is truly a holistic, integrative thing, because it's so much affected by what we're thinking up here, because that determines our whole physicality. So don't feel like, you know, you really can't just force yourself to eat a low-calorie diet and expect to lose weight and maintain that, because it doesn't mean that you're healthy. It doesn't mean that you're balanced. It doesn't mean that your thoughts have changed. So that really could just be a short-term recipe for weight loss, and that's not very satisfying in the long term. So anyways, remember, to get from point A to point B, you have to think about point B and feel it and connect to it and focus on that. And all of this to be done with love, self-compassion, releasing judgments. It just holds you back, just keeps you at point A, and an evolving and growing sense of love for yourself, your soul, and the world around you. The spiritual, personal, transformative part of all this can really help you. But yeah, you can create it. So remember, what you think in your mind, you can create. So let's use that to our advantage. I hope you found that helpful.